So there's been a pretty good response to the book Crazy Love, but one of my concerns is that sometimes we'll read a book like that and get this idea like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna live for Jesus and forget everyone else, no one else is doing it, and I tend to have this tendency where I just go, okay, I'm just gonna do this by myself, I'm gonna follow Jesus, but if you read the Bible, you see that God really doesn't want us to live that way. He really wants us to live with other people and to live in community with other people. And that's the whole point of this DVD curriculum. It's this idea of let's get some believers together in groups where we just commit to live this out and care for one another the way the Bible calls us to. And another thing that we're notorious for as Christians is we'll have these experiences at Christian meetings or in churches or at conferences, and we'll get so close to God, but then Monday comes or the real world comes. And so what we did was we shot this in the context of an ordinary day. Like, how do I take my ordinary average day and make it something that's supernatural, where I'm madly in love with God and thinking about Him all day long? And my prayer is that through this curriculum, there'll be groups of believers that get together everywhere and just commit together and say, you know what, we're gonna live this way. We're gonna do this together.
We're going to be talking about marriage, specifically iMarriage. And if you knew about that, maybe you had a conversation that went kind of like this. The wife, the lady in your home, your wife said, hey, this is so exciting, they're going to talk about marriage. And you, the husband, said, well, why don't you go and take notes? And she said, well, why don't you want to go? And you didn't know how to explain it, guys, and I'm a guy, I understand this. It's like, ladies, we think about marriage a little bit like possibly you think about a car. We just want it to work. We don't want to understand it. We just want it to work. We don't want to work on it. And unfortunately, some of you guys would just rather drive it till it breaks down and trade it rather than fix it, okay? So there's the kind of a thing going on there, that we, it's like if ladies see, when you say to us, honey, I think we need to talk about our relationship, or, I think we need to talk about our marriage. Here's how that sounds to us. It sounds the same way to us as this sounds to you. You're driving down the road with your husband, and all of a sudden he turns down the radio and goes, shh. You go, what? And he goes, do you hear that rattle? And you go, no. Oh, it's a rattle. Okay, you drive. I got to get in the back seat and find the rattle. You're like, I don't even hear it. And even if I heard it, so what? Just turn up the radio. And, it's, as long as the car works, do we have to talk about it? Or maybe he bought you a new car and he gave you that book and wanted you to read it. You're like, why do I need to read it? Drive, press the gas. I don't need to understand the car to operate the car. And see, ladies, we have a tendency to kind of think of marriage that way. As long as it's working and not broken down completely, can't we just drive it? Do we have to talk about it? And the ladies are right. We have to talk about it, okay? Because we don't want it to break down. This question will become a centerpiece to all of your decision making into the future. It's a question that's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of tears. You would probably have been able to avoid your greatest regret simply by asking, processing, and applying this one question. All I want you to do is ask.
I'm Liz Curtis Higgs, inviting you to join us as we open God's Word together and explore the lives of those bad girls of the Bible. We'll have our eyes opened with Eve and look back with Lot's wife. We'll quench our thirst with the woman at the well and toss out a red cord with Rahab. And we'll learn what not to do from Jezebel. Oh, baby, what a fascinating bunch. We've not only created a brand new Bible study video with the lessons to go with each of the 10 chapters, we've also updated the best-selling book with new discussion questions and an in-depth study guide. Bad Girls of the Bible, and what we can learn from them, still changing lives for good.
We are men. We need more than just the mundane.
Something more than the boring, repetitive life
that seems to find us all.
We need a fight.
A battle in which victory is not guaranteed.
A challenge that will take everything we have to give.
And then some.
The Navy SEALs are elite special operations soldiers who conduct unconventional covert warfare. They are set apart because they live their lives by a code, a simple ethos that defines their mission. Join us as we engage with an extraordinary group of Navy SEALs that have chosen to be set apart in a different way, as followers of Jesus. These SEALs will discuss timeless biblical principles that will help all men step into the life God has for them.
I am a common man.
I am a common man.
I am a common man.
With an uncommon life.
With an uncommon life.
The importance of work, that if you want to be good in sports, if you want to accomplish something, if you want to get better, you will learn to put in the work. It might hurt temporarily, but in the long run, it's going to pay off. So I found out that, wow, if I strain, if I strive, if I break down my muscles, they're going to grow back stronger. Well, guys, that's true in life. Too many people want to just be comfortable. They're always waiting for one day. One day I'm going to go on a mission trip. One day I'm going to get right with God. One day I'm going to go back to church. One day I'm going to start having a meaningful life. One day I'm going to have a life of significance. James 4:14 pretty much tells us that we're here today and we're gone tomorrow. Guys, we don't know how much time we have, but we do know that we can make it count. Because we serve a God that loves us so much, and He's invested in us, and He wants to be a part of our lives, not just for one day, but for this day. So yeah, I want you to pursue your passions, but more than anything, I want you to pursue your purpose of the plan that God has for you. You're never too young, you're never too old, it's never too early, it's never too late. It is this day that you can do something that matters, that you can have a life of significance, of purpose, of meaning. It can start today for you, because the God of this universe has a purpose and a plan for you. And He's not waiting for one day, it's starting on this day.